Hey folks, welcome back to another episode here on the Mr. Analyst channel. It's a somber day for Jamaica and the Caribbean. Jamaica has just been hit with a powerful Category 5 hurricane, Melissa, that destroyed much of the country. And of course, the recovery efforts have now begun. Before we begin, let me apologize if you hear any knocking. There's repairs going on where I live right now. So therefore, all of this is going on all around us, even though I'm in Kingston and we were among the least impacted by this hurricane. So we are thankful for that. We're also thankful that not many people have perished so far. But among the recovery efforts, the initiative by Team Jamaica Bickle to raise funding for a lot of the athletes who would have started preparation already for the coming season. And we're being joined by the CEO of Team Jamaica Bickle, that's Irwin Claire. We're going to shed some light as to what that means within the overall recovery process for Jamaica and their athletes. Sir, thanks for joining us. It's a tough time for all of us in Jamaica. Let me first ask, what's the response like? What's been the reaction like in the diaspora to what has happened in Jamaica over the past few days?
Well, first of all, let me say thanks for the opportunity and congratulations to you on this platform where you continue to inform and keep apprised, especially in the sports realm, as to what is going on. And we thank you for your years of service from your former employee. Leighton, understand that the diaspora, and we call ourselves cheerleaders. We're part of Jamaica because wherever we go, we make it Jamaica. So therefore, what happens in hometown, Kingston, Montego Bay, happens, we feel it here too. Because as you know, the history of our existence and our relationship far supersedes the present. We have a track record of deliverability and responsiveness. And I don't just mean haphazard, but boy, we come at it. We come at it. That has been the case. There has been a complete all hands on deck from our embassy in Washington to our consulate here in New York, and I'm speaking primarily now for the Northeast. Organizations have been coming together and thinking things through. In fact, before even Melissa hit, we were ready to go, thinking of things that we should have done, and even criticizing ourselves to say that we should be even more ready. We should be readier. Because one of the things is that we know that disasters will take place, and I just take this opportunity to just campaign for this. We must have a standing disaster preparedness network. We should not just be jumping into action now, where we can have things, physical things in place. Create a warehouse in the Northeast, a warehouse in the Southeast. So we have critical things ready. So we too can get a plane and bang, they're down there, and then take care of the rest as it goes through. But that's a conversation for another day. To respond to you, organizations under the helm of our embassy in Washington, our new ambassador, and he's the right person at this particular time because he comes to the fore with the necessary skill set for logistic management. Because that's what happens now. How we manage the logistics of all the largesse, of all the goodwill, of all the products that will be flowing into Jamaica. So yes, we are ready and readying.
Okay, so that's good to know because Jamaica will need every hand on deck to come out of this disastrous situation. As it relates to this initiative, though, as it relates to getting support for the athletes, tell me a little bit about the genesis of this idea, this initiative that is geared towards helping the athletes recover and prepare for the season ahead, because we will come out of this and life has to go on. And of course, for these athletes as well, there are scholarship opportunities on the line, there are professional opportunities on the line as well. What is Team Jamaica Bickle doing in terms of this initiative to ensure that these kids are able to realize their dreams?
Let's also say that this is also a work in progress, because understanding the connectivity, us making a connection now is a rarity. Those who we not need to connect with haven't happened yet. But we understand, and you're absolutely correct, life will go on. And sports play a very important part of our psyche, as
Mm-hmm.
well as us physically going out and cheering. And in speaking to a minister of government this morning, says there are two things that really brings us together, and there are others too, major disasters like this and sports, because it helps to uplift the people. And
Mm-hmm.
we have always had a winning tradition. And if nothing else, we need to make sure that we maintain it for our dignity, for of life. And
Mm-hmm.
so we recognize in working within the structure set up, and we have to be disciplined here. We can't be everything to everybody.
Body.
In the diaspora, we have some fantastic entities that are around the whole healthcare scenarios. We have major medical missions that comes to Jamaica on a yearly basis. Organizations like OID, Jaja Foundation, Health Missions out of New Jersey, and others. They have their prototype. They have their blueprint. The same thing goes for the alumni associations that deals with their respective alumni high schools and basic schools in Jamaica. They have their blueprint. Team Jamaica Bickle carves out its niche. We stay in our lane, Leighton.
Mm-hmm.
And we are leveraging our brand, because that's what we all need to do now. Leverage our brand to see how best we can tap into those we work with. So we have a very significant relationship, and there are others in the pipework too. A very significant rapport with the University of Pennsylvania, in this case, the Penn Relays. So
Nice.
we're in discussion with the hierarchy there, Scott Ward and Aaron Robinson, as to how they could help within their framework. Because remember now, there are many other things taking place right now. All right. But
Absolutely.
power of the brand of Jamaica, we stand out. And they said to us, what can we do here within their power stream? So as you know, they have large tentacles. They have a mass of people they can connect with. And so we're starting there. And what are we doing is that Team Jamaica Bickle, and they're also recognizing the other foundations and government entities that people have options to send funds to. We want to give people options. But within that sphere, within our lane, ourselves and the Penn Relays are reaching to their following and explain to them the relationship they have with Team Jamaica Bickle and the value of Team Jamaica Bickle and teams from Jamaica and the Caribbean to the Penn Relays. Because when all is done, life goes on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they also see the value of our existence there. And I make sure I preach that to them all the time. And so they are using their platform to inform and to solicit from their group, from their links, contributions to Team Jamaica Bickle. What will these contributions be for? As you know, Leighton, for us, it's always about the welfare of the athletes. We're staying within our lane. In this case, nutrition and the ability for us to provide opportunities for them to train. We recognize that most of the schools in Western Jamaica and elsewhere, country school get licked hard. Them always get
Mm-hmm.
licked. They get
Yeah,
licked before
Mannings
things
and
even.
Spets are wrecked, yeah.
Yes. All right. So what we want to do here is this, and I say this, but because we have also strong relationship with GC Foster, I know that we'll work this through. GC Foster for us is a major cog for TJB. All right. And we'll be having dialogue with them that after we've amassed these funds, and we hope to have some contributions here, that we want to say to GC Foster, let us see how we can work something out for those schools who are displaced and may need training facilities, maybe on a weekend or 2 days during the week. How do we facilitate that? I know they're treasured, I know they're burdened, but how do we facilitate that? So we want to be able to provide the resources to make it happen. So if it
Mm-hmm.
means then that a $5,000 in a week to bring in some teams to do some stuff, then so be it. To provide their nutrition and opportunities to use their space on their platforms to continue training. That's what it is. And we feel like we can do that. At least we're saying to the athletes, you have an opportunity to continue to train because you have obligations, and those obligations can only prove fruitful for us as a nation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You mentioned funds, but can that help come in the form of kind as well, given the circumstances?
Yes, yes. You see, in this platform here, we want to go for the cash. Okay, see, in kind too, there's a logistic challenge. And we also have to recognize that we must be respective of potential bottlenecks to move physical stuff to end users. You know, and a lot of things are taking place there. So we have to, so this is where we bring in a different dynamic, you know, of fundraising. If we have the ability to do so, those who have that skill set to do so, we want to set them free to do that. Those who have the skill set to manage products and services and stuff like that, fine. Because even as we speak, we're speaking to other groups such as the pen relays too, to look at what you said just now. Maybe equipment and stuff. That's a heavy lifting. But again, it's in a structured, disciplined manner. Again, this is something that our leadership here under the aegis of our ambassador has, you know, he makes sure that he irons it out and gives that instruction that yes, we all welcome everything, but it has to be in a structured way so that we don't cause another disaster when things come
Mhm.
to Jamaica.
Absolutely. And of course, the important part of that is then bringing all of this together under one umbrella. Is there going to be like a website or something where people can reach out to Team Jamaica Bickle or University of Pennsylvania to
Yes.
then, acknowledge that we're willing to help?
Because as we speak right now, you go to their Pen Relays website, you'll see what they're doing on site on behalf of this endeavor. We're bringing up to speed our website because you go to our website, you now have the ability to donate. I've been feeling questions all morning from people here wanting to donate and send them to that platform. You know, as it relates to athletes, as it relates to sports. Again, I emphasize here, I recognize and respect all other things taking place. But we also have to make sure that while those are going on, we keep our eyes on the prize too, because it is in these situations, Leighton, that when we can look at our athletes up there and doing things, it lifts our spirits up, even the poorest of the poor. And we
Mhm.
have to make sure that that type of stimuli is available to them.
Because one of the things, Erwin, that I was talking about this morning actually is the fact that the international recognition and the outpouring of support that we've seen for Jamaica so far. I mean, just 24 hours after this, well, more than 24 hours after the storm has passed, comes largely from the recognition brought by our athletes and our cultural icons as well. That is the brand you mentioned earlier, the brand Jamaica.
Yes.
Because people know Bob Marley, they know Usain Bolt, they know Shelly and Fraser Price, they know Elaine Thompson Herro, they know all of these stars from Jamaica that connect with the diaspora and the wider globe as well. So, it is important that we continue to support these niches, call it that for the time being. That will then help us to continue to spread and build brand Jamaica as well.
And that's where we come in. And that's why I make sure I emphasize. Yes, we support everything else that's taking place. But if you have an expertise in something, you should be empowered to make it work, set you free. In other words, this is a time when I use a phrase again, when you really stay in your lane. You understand? But things happen to you when you go to your lane. Stay in your lane. If you have the expertise, stay in that lane and do all you can. That don't mean that you can't offer assistance and offer support there, but your primary function must be your expertise. We are saying that we are privileged for over the past 31 years to be in this space, and we want to leverage it for the betterment of our athletes, our students, and those who represent Jamaica at a level, because we know what it means for Jamaica and the kind of benefit that Jamaica can occur from it.
Okay, final question to you is I mean, everything is fluid right now, but when do you think everything will come together for this initiative to be then set in stone and ready to roll?
Well, we have to, again, as I get off the phone here, I'm still trying to reach out to those my expected partners in Jamaica. They don't know this yet, but I'm that audacious. But
Yeah.
we I'm certain we'll come to some amicable agreement and understanding, because it's a win-win situation.
Mhm.
Because we have had relationships before, so this is not new. And I must say kudos to the folks over there, GC Foster, and all the institutions that we've worked with in Jamaica, because we're going to be calling them now to step up to the plate. Because you see, there's another thing here, is that community-based groups work well in times like these, because you
Mhm.
see, you have followings and people have confidence in you, so therefore there's a trust factor that is positive. You know, so one feels comfortable. I got a call just before it came on from South Carolina, a past student friend of mine. How can I get my funds to Team Jamaica Bickle? Because I heard about this pen relays initiative. And I'm saying, wow, it is getting out there. You know, and if for nothing else, if we don't raise the kind of money we raise from there, the most important thing here in this, outside of the monetary situation, Leighton, as you know, is the fact that we're upfront in their faces. Brand support, nurturing the brand, because it has reciprocal benefits across the all borders.
All right, Irwin, thank you so much for this. And of course, hoping that everything comes together in a timely manner, because the urgency, I cannot overstate the
Urgency
emergency
is
what we're
now.
facing
Urgency
right
is
now
now.
is now. So thank you
Urgency.
so much for this leadership and your continued support of Jamaica and its athletes. I mean, as you mentioned, 31 years, this has been one of the strongest pillars that Jamaica's young athletes depend on for their progress throughout the course of their young careers. So thank you again for that. And of course, before we go on, remember it's for you to subscribe to the channel, like and share our content, especially this piece of content, because this is very important for our young athletes who have no control over the circumstance. But whatever help they can get,
Yes,
it will be worth it, because it will help them to progress their lives coming out of a very difficult situation. So of
indeed.
course, thank you again for joining us. Irwin, thank you again. And of
Yeah,
course,
man.
looking forward to hearing more.
And you know, Leighton, we can take this road to and say and make a strong appeal to the Team Jamaica Bickle alumni. And I have no drawbacks here. You who have benefited from the process have a responsibility and an obligation to pay it forward.
Can't say anything more than that. Irwin, thank you so much.
Thank you, Leighton.